Hello everyone, my name is Akinola Oyedele and I would like to welcome you to the 7th session of the Future Energy Leaders Club. It's been a very wonderful journey getting to know students from all over our country and to get to know about your perspective of the problem of power supply in Nigeria. I've seen a lot of ideas on Facebook and I've heard a lot of feedback from your discussions in your various schools, and this is really very interesting because I've seen a lot of you students shown interest in solving the problem, and I have no doubt that you have what it takes to solve this problem of insufficient power supply. Today we'll be analyzing the temporary solutions that has been adopted to solve this problem. Generators has been very ubiquitous, whether in the residential sectors or the industrial sector. And so we want to analyze the choice, the merit and the demerit of those choices and compare to other technologies and decide for ourselves which one is better on the long run. So when you see people buying generators or when you buy generators, what are the advantages? Why do you buy generators? Most people buy generators because it provides power. That's the most important thing. That is one of the value that it creates, because you don't have power and you need power. You want to watch TV, you want to watch your popular shows, you want to have electricity, you want to put on your lamps or use your refrigerators to preserve your food. You just want power to charge your phone. And so you go for generators because that is what is available if there's no power. And so one of the major advantages, because it provides power instantaneously. You need power, put on your generator and it supplies you power. Also, it's very accessible. You can just walk down the street to that guy selling generators and then give him 20,000 bucks and buy your own generator and take it home. So it's very easy to acquire, very easy to access, in the sense that if you want power, just put fuel or diesel or petrol inside your generator and start it and get power. It's instantaneous, almost instantaneous. However, when you're thinking about for industry, because they use this power a lot, comparing how much we spend on generators with how much we pay on electricity bill, we pay far more on generators than electricity bill. So whether we like it or not, we are paying a lot for it. Number two, it is not sustainable, especially for big industries that requires large power. That means they have to buy a lot of generators, one. They have to buy a lot of fuel to run the generators. And of course, these big generators, they break down often. So they have to run periodic maintenance on these generators. Now, put that into perspective. That means these companies are paying a lot on power that they could save in terms of the operational cost. And so this will drive up the overall cost of goods that these companies will sell to consumers. So instead of selling something for 50 naira, for example, they tend to sell it for 60 naira, considering the fact that they've incurred more expenses on generating power. Number three, these generators are not, they constitute health hazards. Have you seen a lot of videos or pictures on Facebook or stories about how generator fumes kill someone or killed a family? Yes, it is real, because the generator fumes are actually very harmful to human to inhale. So they produce this carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide that in their high concentration are extremely dangerous. Number four, they causes environmental pollution, and since that they release harmful gases into the environment, which is not good. And so we've looked at the advantage. Yes, it supplies powers, it's easily accessible, but we need to look at the disadvantages too. This is actually a study that was conducted, and they were comparing the overall cost of doing business in Nigeria and with other African countries. Any company that is starting in Nigeria will tend to pay more in terms of transport electricity cost compared to other African countries. Now, the reason is because in Nigeria, the companies will have to rely on generators. That is why the cost will be high. But in South Africa, they can get electricity from the national grid. And so the cost of national grid power supply is usually low compared to generators. And so this affects the whole economy because a lot of companies will have to rely on generators. So many people are adopting solar inverters. Very good technology, does not produce harmful gases, environmentally friendly, and it does not require huge maintenance costs like generators. You don't have to buy fuel. All what you need is the solar panels, the batteries, and of course the inverters. And that is one of the things we'll be displaying in the next session. We'll be displaying how solar technology works for you. What you just need to do is to place the solar panels on your roof to tap into the power of the sun. The solar panels convert the sun's energy to electricity, and then this electricity are then stored in the battery for use. But one of the major problems of this technology is that it has huge cost, even much more than the generators. But when you compare the fact that, when you take into account the fact that you do not have to pay for maintenance or you do not have to pay for fuel, it is relatively cheaper. So a lot of our street lights today are using solar technologies. What you just do is, during the day, the sun shines, you get power, and then it's stored in the battery. In the night, the battery powers the street light. Very nice technology. So this actually shows how it actually works. So this is a small animation. So for example, there's a house. In this house, you have the solar panels placed on the roof to get power from the sun. Of course, you have the national grid, the electricity from the past national supply. And then in your house, the solar panel is connected to an inverter. What this inverter does is to convert electricity from DC to AC, and then the AC is used to power your house. So for example, your dishwasher, your lamps, your TV. Simple as that, not so much. So you can either use the energy from the national grid or energy from the sun. One of the things that people don't consider when they're buying generators is that they do not factor the cost of air pollution and noise pollution. For example, do you bother what cost is associated to noise pollution when you're buying generators? Of course not. Do you bother the cost associated to air pollution? No. Air pollution affects the overall air quality, and so when these harmful gases are released into the atmosphere, it reduces the air quality. And what you do, you inhale these harmful gases, and it causes a lot of health issues such as cancer. And when you have all these issues, it can shorten your lifespan, stress you out, or you even have to visit the doctor. You get sick regularly. And when you visit the doctor, you pay for the services to get better, to improve your health. And so when you buy generators, you do not factor all these health costs associated to the harmful gases that generators release into the atmosphere. On another side, Generators releases CO2 into the atmosphere, and if millions of people are using it at the same time, it even releases more into the atmosphere, in millions. What this does is it affects the ozone layer, depletes the ozone layer, ensure that the ozone layer that protects the sun radiation from directly hitting us, now it's reduced, and then the sun radiation could easily hit us directly without any protection, which of course can increase skin cancer and other related diseases. Apart from those diseases, it will increase the overall temperature of the heart. And this temperature, because the temperature increases, it melts ice, especially in areas in the Arctic region. It melts the ice, and this ice have nowhere to go but to flow into the river. And overall, it increases the sea level of the world. And so, when there's an increase in sea level, places like Lagos that are very close to the sea are prone to flooding, and of course might go under the water. And that is why a lot of people have postulated that if we continue to release, if the world continue to release CO2 or carbon dioxide in the atmosphere or greenhouse gases, there will be global warming, which is the increase in temperature of the world, and then there will be sea level increase. And places like Lagos might be no more in a century. So there's a need for us to protect the environment. There's a need for us to ensure that we do not release harmful gases into the atmosphere, because it gets people sick, it causes a lot of cancer, it increases greenhouse gases, it causes global warming and sea level increase, which we want to prevent. And so deciding between what will temporarily benefit us as to what will benefit us in the long run, it's very hard, because you have two choices. Do you enjoy now and suffer later, or do you suffer now and enjoy later? Our predecessors have made choices that has put us in this present generation into a very tight corner. But it is now up to us for us to take hard decisions that is not myopic, but it's rather of the good in the long-term run. And so these hard decisions will be to forfeit our temporary enjoyment for a long-term plan that will benefit the whole family of humankind. And so, because of that, the green alternatives, which is the renewable energy like solar and wind, though they may be expensive now, in the long run, they will be cheaper and they are environmentally friendly. And so, there's a need to protect the environment not only for us now, but for posterity. And as a matter of fact, the world needs to be protected because we do not have any other home. There's no other home than the world that we need. So, to protect the world for future posterity, to protect the world for posterity, requires an informed generation. And that is one of the reasons why we put in this program, to make sure that you are informed to be able to make these hard choices and to be able to explain why you're making these choices for the long-term run. And so we want to get your own explanation in the form of an essay on how air pollution from generators impacts greenhouse gases, sea level increases, and its overall impact on climate change. We will publish some of your essays in a debate competition, and we will select some of the best students for special prizes. I hope this session has been worthwhile, and I hope to see you in the last session. Thank you for watching. See you.